Welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll take a look at another operator, with this one being the membership operator. Membership operators are used to test whether a value exists in a sequence, and the sequence, for example, could be a string, a list, set, or a tuple. And the result of the operator, that is the output returned when using the operators, is returned in the form of Boolean operators, which is either true or false. Now, the membership operators include two operators in particular, which is the in and the not in operators. So these are the operators that can verify if a sequence of characters exist in our objects, and then the result is returned in the form of a Boolean value, true or false. Now, when we use the operator in, it will return true if a character or sequence of characters exist, and if they do not exist, it will return false. And the not in membership operator does the opposite. So if the characters do not exist, it will return true. And if they do exist, it will return false. Let's take a look at some examples. So we are back on PyCharm and I'm going to print out my string. I've already got it copied, so I've pasted it in. And I'm using a backslash here to ignore this quote because we've got one at the start of the string and we've got one at the end of the string. So I want to ignore this one. So we use a backslash for that. And let's say we want to confirm if the value 123 exists in my string. So let's print brackets. Now let's look for 123 and let's use our in operator. And then what we are searching in my underscore string. So this is my string and this is what I want to confirm if it's included in my string. 123 in my string. So let's run this. We can right click and run membership operators. So this is another way to do it. And we can see we get a result, a Boolean result of true. But if we put a 5 in here, so now it's saying 1, 2, 3, 5, but it's missing the 4 out over here. Let's run that and see what that gives us. And we get a false because 1, 2, 3, 5 does not exist. And we can use the not in keyword as well. So if we do not in, it should return a true now because 1, 2, 3, 5 does not exist. Let's run this. And we get a true because 1, 2, 3, 5 does not exist. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I put the 4 back in here and run it, we should get a false now because it's asking for not in, the opposite. So I get a false this time. And we can try it with other objects as well. Let's try it with my list. I'm going to paste my list in here. So let's confirm if MAR from Marrakesh exists in my list. So let's do a print, open bracket, and let's look for MAR in, and then it's my underscore list. Let's run the file, and we get a false. So it's the second one. It's still running the first one as well above in my underscore string as well. Let's try the full list object, Marrakesh, and now we get a true. And if we specify not in as the operator, we should get a false. Let's try and specify this with a small m instead and run that to see if it's case sensitive, and we get a true, the opposite. So if we are using the in operator, just so it's a bit more easier to read and understand, is Marrakesh in my list? It shouldn't be because the M is a small m and my list has a capital M for Marrakesh. So let's run that and we get a false. And of course we can try it with a set and a dictionary as well, and we can combine these as well, the print and the my list. So if I paste in my set, now this is my set, I've got print, and then I'm looking for the word Sydney in, and then I've pasted my set inside this whole statement. So I've got London, Marrakesh, Sydney and 34. So if we run the file, of course it should return a true because Sydney exists over here. So let's run that and we can see it returns a true. So that's a quick overview of membership operators.